I think everyone has that one road that they've driven down that they think would make for an excellent racetrack. For me, that road is from a little town called Castle Douglas to another little town called Dalbeatty in Dumfries and Galloway. The road starts with wide sweeping curves and a few straights into an ever-narrowing string of tight corners, then over a bridge and a half-mile straight to top it off. Now, I'm sure you've all got your section of road in your head. There's beautiful roads all across the world that would make for spectacular racing, if only it was legal. Now, imagine if you could close off that section of road and race on it. Welcome to Tarmac Rally. The form of rally that most people know of is dirt rally, where drivers and co-drivers test their skill and bravery against a gravel road or a dirt track. But there is another kind of rally, which is what I want to talk about today, and that's Tarmac Rally. Tarmac Rally follows the same rules as the dirt kind, but it brings with it a whole new world of challenges and problems to overcome. Now, before we get too deep into it, let's start off with a quick overview of how rally works. Rally is essentially a series of tough and grueling time trials. Basically, the idea is whoever can navigate those trials in the fastest time overall wins. Because of these trials taking place separately, the cars very rarely come across one of their competitors, as they are released at timed intervals. Co-drivers are also vital at every rally stage, as they make the pace notes on the route and then use those notes to direct the driver using a code that sounds like another language to those not in the know. There are multiple different classes of rally car as well, ranging from high-tech purpose-built racing machines to modified road cars. Tarmac Rally of course uses sections of public roads for these time trials, which brings with it its own set of unique challenges. I asked Darren Roberts what his thoughts were on racing on public roads. Darren is an extremely experienced rally driver who placed second in his class last year and built this beautiful Vauxhall Nova along with his team.
I'm Darren Roberts. This is mine and actually one of my friends is Vauxhall Nova. Actually, we built it together.
Okay.
Yeah, just bought just an ordinary Nova SR off eBay for about £500, I think it was, and then we built it into this.
Oh wow, okay, so it really is built.
Yeah, it was built by us. Yeah, just a couple of friends. That's all.
Right. What's the biggest challenge racing on public roads versus like a designated racetrack?
It doesn't seem legal, but it's dead good that it is. And like it just obviously you kind of have to get out of your head that there's might be something coming the other way, because there won't be.
Yeah.
And then other than that, it's just like, go flat out. I mean, we get 2 runs over at stages at like kind of 30 mile an hour.
Yeah.
So we've kind of had a look over, and then we've got the pace notes. We've got pace notes that like Dale will read out, the navigator will read out, and that gives us all the information, distances to corners, like severity and all that. So then really you can go as quick as you want.
Yeah. I wanted to learn more about pace notes, and who better to ask than Simon Hunter. Simon is a highly experienced rally driver and co-driver who has been racing since 2005. He's driving this feisty Vauxhall Corsa that's just had some big upgrades on it. I asked him about the pace notes and what he thinks are the challenges with racing on public roads.
Yeah, I'm Simon Hunter, Corsa 1400. Just put a sequential gearbox in it, so this is a bit of a test for that, and first round of the championship.
How much are you getting sort of recce on these things? Because I heard from another driver that you only go two times.
2 passes, yeah, you can go 2 passes.
Right,
so
okay.
we write the notes on the first one and check them on the second one.
Right, okay.
And, hopefully, they were today. They're all good on the second one.
Yeah. Lastly, what's the biggest challenge of racing on public roads versus a racetrack?
I would say getting the notes right so that you can commit to them. On a single venue, even though you're being told where you're going, you can generally see it. You've not got a clue what's around the next corner, over the next brow, so you need to be confident in the notes that you can do what it's telling you to do.
Yeah. So you're really putting a lot of faith in the co-driver and their notes.
Yeah, very much so.
I knew coming into the weekend that Rally had co-drivers and that they were important, but I had no idea how big a role they play. I wanted to ask a couple of the drivers to see how important they feel the co-driver is. I managed to snag an interview with Ashley Morris, the 2021 Scottish Ladies Rally Champion, to ask her about her co-driver. Ashley is a highly skilled driver competing in multiple different categories since her debut back in 2016. She began her rally career as most drivers do, in the passenger seat, so she has a real understanding of the importance of the co-driver.
So my name's Ashley Morris and this is my car. It's a Ford Fiesta R200, which is known as Jig.
How important is your co-driver and their notes?
The co-driver is a massive part of the team, and I think people that aren't in rallying themselves don't always understand how important the co-driver's role is. So obviously if we're doing a recce, we'll be making the notes together as we go, but without the co-driver there to read those back to me, I would really not be able to drive in the same way. They also, a good co-driver can help push you on if you need it. They can help rein you in a little bit when you need it as well, and they're also just a huge power in making sure that we get to time controls on time, navigating us through the road sections, and just general organising as well. So I don't think people understand quite
how important.
Yeah.
The part that intrigued me the most from this answer is that the co-driver has a lot of other responsibilities along with reading the pace notes under stressful circumstances. I wanted to learn more about it. I chatted briefly with Nikki Addison, who has made the trek all the way from the Highlands of Scotland to be here. She drives this gorgeous Honda Civic Type R. I asked her what other roles besides reading pace notes the co-driver has to do.
I'm Nikki Addison and I drive a Honda Civic Type R.
Very nice as well. I don't think I've seen any other Type R Civics here. EP2s anyway.
Don't think there is. Over in Mull there was there 2 other ones? I think there was 2 other, but you don't see them very often. I think they're more common over in Ireland.
Right, okay.
So maybe that's where I should go.
I've seen a few of them at like track days and stuff. I've never seen one at a rally. So, how important is your co-driver in there and the notes you take on your recce runs?
Very important. Mainly probably to tell, to cool you down. You know, if you get too carried away,
Right.
is to say settle down, and to push you on as well. There's bits where I've noticed that if you're not going well enough, you'll kind of say, "Come on, put your foot down."
So they encourage you, not just guiding you as well,
no,
right?
they'll encourage you and calm you down both.
Right, okay.
It's just as important as telling you when the next.
I wouldn't have thought that. All right. One of the tasks the driver and co-driver must do before even getting to the start of the stage is pass the safety and inspection process. The inspections start off by checking your exhaust volume, which is noted by a decibel meter. If you pass this test, you then get the honour of queuing for scrutineering, where your car will be checked to make sure all the safety gear is functional and correct, and that your car adheres to all the rules and regulations of your class. This may sound simple, but there is a lot to be checked over, and if you've missed anything, you need to go back to your trailer, fix it, and then start the process all over again. It's no wonder then that there is an entire day dedicated to making sure all the cars get through this process. Now, while I was watching the scrutineering process and walking around the paddock, I started to notice how incredibly varied the cars were for this event. There was everything there from your certified classics like the Mini Cooper and the Ford Escort, to 90s rally legends like the Subaru Imprezas and Mitsubishi Evos, to early 2000s stuff like the Honda Civic and the Vauxhall Corsa, to the absolute brand new top of the line stuff like this Hyundai i20 and Volkswagen Polo. There was also these really cool 2-litre World Rally Cup cars there, like this Peugeot and this Astra. If you want to find out more about why these last 2 cars are so cool, check out this video When WRC Met Its Match, The Era of the Kit Car by Jacko Motors for a great insight into a cool bit of rally history. The other thing I noticed while I was walking around the paddock was the sheer scale of some of the big teams, and the difference between them and the smaller teams. The big guys brought lorries full of equipment and personnel to keep their cars running and gigantic marquees that were the size of a small house. The smaller teams were having to settle for a van, a trailer and a mat. It just goes to show how much harder these small teams have to work to stay competitive. There's no army of mechanics waiting to fix even the slightest problem. Usually the driver and co-driver are doubling as the mechanic, so if they break it, they fix it. Now these cars that are competing in this event for the most part aren't purpose-built road racing machines, so quite a lot of work goes into setting them up and modifying them between road and dirt racing. I wanted to talk with a couple of drivers about the changes they have made to suit road racing, both to their cars and to their approach to the stages. I managed to get a quick interview with a true veteran of road rally, Simon Boehm. Simon won this event in 2016 in a Subaru Impreza and has since moved into this Fiesta which he has multiple top 10 finishes in. I asked Simon about the differences between dirt and tarmac racing.
I'm Simon Bowen, Gravesend Kismet co-driver. We're starting at car 26 this time on the Northwest stages.
Is there any major differences in approach and setup between dirt and tarmac?
Suspension mainly.
Right, okay.
Obviously you need to lift the car up, see a lot more travel, a lot softer.
On the tarmac or?
For the gravel.
Oh, the gravel, yeah.
So obviously you can see the car set really low.
Yeah.
Now for the tarmac. When you get onto the gravel it's obviously a lot rougher.
Right.
So you tend to come up quite a lot and run the softer springs, softer dampers. Smaller brakes because you're running 15-inch rims, so you haven't got the space to put big calipers in.
Right, okay.
Other than that, that's pretty much it really for the gravel.
Is there much difference in approach, the way you take the track?
Yeah, you're sliding a lot more then.
Right.
You are, yeah. I mean, these cars are a lot different than what they used to be, because like the Scandinavians, you know, they used to flick the cars to slow them down sideways. You don't generally need to with these because they're that good in the chassis, you know, the well-built, balanced car.
Right.
And just getting your line right, really. So if you get out wide on gravel, you generally go off.
I also asked Ashley the same question, to which she gave this very insightful answer. What are the differences in approach for dirt versus tarmac?
Well, firstly, in a lot of UK rallying, you always get a recce, so we get to do the stages in a road car for a tarmac rally. We don't always get that opportunity on a gravel rally, but still the preparation is very much the same, but we'll set up the car very differently. How you approach your corners and turn it is very different on gravel. You've got to be very smooth in how you approach your braking, but obviously the speeds on tarmac can be higher, and then if you do lose control and lose grip, it can happen very quickly on tarmac, whereas on gravel you have more chance to catch the car.
It's interesting what Ashley says there at the end, that there isn't a lot of chance to save the car if you lose it on tarmac. Some of these roads these guys are racing down are barely single wide, and there's basically no runoff zone at most of the corners, just a brick wall or a tree. It really is incredible these guys are able to go flat out down roads like this. Now if you're crazy enough to think you can do this, you should pay attention to this next part. I asked every driver what they thought the key was to being good at rally. Let's have a listen to see if we've got what it takes to be a rally driver. What would you guys say is the key to being good at rally?
A big thing is seat time.
Yeah.
How much time you can spend in the seat as possible. And when you get the seat time, you get more commitment, which helps with the speed, and it's all about trying to be smooth.
Yeah.
And also listen to what this guy's telling you. Don't assume you are somewhere else on a stage when you're not, because that's when you have a big crash.
Can you tell me what you think is the key to being a good rally driver?
Preparation and seat time. You've got to be in the car a lot to get good results. Ironically, I've not been in the car since May last year, so but seat time and good preparation, I think, is the key.
What do you think the key is to being good at rally?
Probably dedication.
Okay.
And seat time.
Yeah.
And just put all your effort into it, really, because I don't really do anything else apart from rally.
There you go, yeah.
Work and rally.
What do you think the key is to being good at rally?
Obviously, as in with any form of motorsport, car control is really key, but with rallying it's very different to going around a racetrack where you might be approaching the same corner 100 times. For us it's a lot more about reading the road, listening to the co-driver, interpreting the road conditions, which even if we do the same stage twice, the conditions can be very different by the time we come around the next time.
Okay, so what do you think the key to being good at rally is?
Mainly, I think, is just being neat and tidy. Like, don't be too outlandish. You know, try and be quick but tidy, and just, you know, sometimes you end up making more mistakes if you try too hard, if you will. But the main thing is have fun. That's all I want to do, like I said.
If you watched my previous videos, this is probably the part where you expect me to tell you how cool these things sound, and then have a whole compilation of the best sounding cars. But that's not really possible in this case. Take a listen to this next clip, and see if you can figure out why that is. Yeah, the weather really wasn't on my side that day. The wind was absolutely brutal, and barely any of the footage I got was spared from the noise. But that brings me on to my next point. Rally fans are hardcore. I've seen quite a few different motorsports in my time, and with that I've met fans of those motorsports. Rally fans are something else. They hike miles into the countryside to stand in a boggy field in the wind and rain just to get a glimpse of their favourite driver fly by. And on the first night they had this grand opening, which I thought would be a very composed procession of cars driving across the start line. My god, was I wrong. It was basically one massive street party. People who say that motorsport is a dying sport in Britain clearly haven't met these guys. The fans of rally are almost as determined and committed as the drivers they've come to support. Anyway, that's all from me. I'll leave you with a few of the best action shots I could salvage from the weekend. Big thanks to Legend Fire's Northwest Stages for putting on a great show and for being so welcoming and friendly to a small YouTuber like myself. Also a big shout out to the drivers that took the time to chat and do interviews with me. It really means a lot. Oh yeah, and thank you very much for watching.
first interview that ever.
Oh, there you go. The natural.
Right, we need to know your YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's Crazy Tiger Garage is what it's called.
Crazy Tiger Garage.
Yes.